3 reasons why the 3-bite rule sucks. Hello and welcome. My name's Jennifer House. I'm a registered dietitian and nutritionist with First Step Nutrition, and I've been helping moms and dads nourish their growing families for the past 10 years. I'm also the mother of 3 children, and my middle child, Nora, was my picky eater. If you're struggling with a picky eater at home too, I'd imagine you're worried that they're not getting enough food or enough nutrients to meet their growth and their potential. You're probably frustrated that your kid doesn't try new foods. You're probably stuck as a short order cook, maybe bringing out those backup foods or making a second meal just so your kid will eat something. And your dinner table's probably full of pressure, bribes, and tears too. And I'm guessing you just want to stop stressing about how much your kid eats. You want your kid to expand their palate, try new foods without complaints, and you'd like to have more peaceful family dinners to end all the yelling and the tears. So if that sounds good to you, stick around for the next couple minutes. Because I know that there's lots of conflicting advice out there on how to feed kids, from your doctor, from your mom, your friends, blogs. And maybe you've tried some of these tactics and discovered that for most kids, the 1-bite rule or 3-bite rule just doesn't work and tends to backfire. And in fact, they end up eating less, and it just leads to those battles at the table. And the number one goal is for us to create peaceful family meals, and you want dinner time to be a place where everybody wants to come to the table and we're producing positive family memories. So as a caveat before I get into the content, I just want to say that for some children, the 3-bite or the 1-bite rule might work. So if your child tastes the food for the first time, they might decide, oh yeah, this actually is yummy, I'm gonna eat more of it. But for most picky eaters, they're truly stubborn and this won't work well for you. So the number one reason why the 3-bite rule sucks is because it can create a lifelong hatred of the exact food you're trying to get them to eat more of. I know adults who still won't eat broccoli, for example, because their parents always made them eat broccoli when they were a kid. Maybe you have this experience too. And research backs this up. There was a study published in Appetite that surveyed college kids and found 69% of them at some point in their past had been forced to eat a food when they were younger. And of that group, it was 72% said that they would no longer eat that food. So it can lead to lifelong rejection of that food. And we all have some foods we don't like. I don't like stinky cheeses, I don't like olives, no matter how many times I try olives. My kids all love them, but they all have certain foods that they don't like too, and so will your child. So that's okay, we can learn to respect that. And the number 2 reason why the 3-bite rule sucks is it messes with your child's natural hunger fullness signals, so it doesn't allow them to listen to those signals. First of all, if they know that dinner is going to be a fight, they'll come to the table stressed out. Their stress hormones like cortisol are going to be high, and then physiologically, this will decrease their appetite. And maybe your child really isn't hungry. How do you know that? Maybe they're not going through a growth spurt at that point. Maybe they've eaten enough throughout the rest of the day, to meet their calorie needs. And they are really good, kids are, at listening to their hunger and fullness signals if we let them. And this is a great skill, and we want them to continue to grow up to keep this skill and eating for hunger rather than external reasons such as praise from your parents or because your parents make you. And the 3rd reason why the 3-bite rule sucks is nobody wins this fight. If your child's stubborn, they're not going to choose to eat more of that food on their own. They'll just eat the 1 bite that you force them to eat. And that's because they're stubborn, right? So they're not going to let you win that fight. If they said, oh, I love these Brussels sprouts, can I have more? Then that would be defeat on their part and you would win the battle. And really, kids have control over very little in their lives. One of the things they do have control over generally is if they'll eat. So if they feel that pressure, if they feel the lack of control, they're going to try and exert some control by refusing to eat if they know that you really want them to eat. And another study published in Appetite found that when kids were pressured to eat, they experienced early satiety, so they no longer became hungry. So again, this tends to backfire, pressuring kids to eat. They actually end up eating less for the most part. And we'd rather choose for them to eat these foods on their own without pressure. This way the stubborn child will be far more likely to decide that that food tastes good on their own and choose to eat more of it, both that night and in the future. So I hope that helps explain a little bit why most of these dinner rules don't work well for most kids. If you want more support on what to do when feeding your picky eater instead of the 3-bite rule, I've created a new group coaching program for you to help called End Picky Eating. I want to help parents who are struggling to feed their kids, which disrupts the whole family. I want to help end those dinner time battles and make dinners more peaceful and provide some strategies to help your kids get the nutrition that they need. This is a 6-week group coaching program where we'll have weekly live video calls through Zoom. And this is where I'll do the teaching as well as provide you with something to practice with your family for the week. But this is also where we'll have some coaching time, so everybody will have a chance to ask questions and get support. And the calls will be recorded as well if you can't make them all live. And we'll also have a pop-up Facebook group for the 6 weeks where we can at any point ask questions, share our struggles or our successes, and just know that you're not alone. So we'll be covering the division of responsibility in feeding, so your roles as a parent in feeding, including what to feed. So we'll talk about kids' nutrient needs so that you can feel confident you're offering them the right foods and you can quit being that short order cook, as well as where and when they eat. So a common struggle with picky eaters is constant snacking as well. So we'll work at creating a more meal time and snack time routine and structure for your family. And we'll also discuss your child's roles, which are how much to eat. We'll discuss normal children's growth so that you can feel confident in letting your kids listen to their appetite rather than feeling you need to get them to eat. And this is the area I find that most parents need the most practice and patience and coaching and getting over that mental block that we have to get our kids to eat rather than trusting them. And we'll also discuss some tactics for more extreme picky eating, including sequential oral sensory, so progressing through different textures. And my occupational therapist, Melissa, is going to join us for this call since she has special skills in assessing and treating oral and sensory food aversions and dealing with kids who are more extreme picky eaters. And we'll also talk about some more practical and fun things you can do, like getting your kids involved in the kitchen, which really does help, and frequently asked questions, like managing sweets and desserts with your kids. So this program's starting the first week of November, going through mid-December, and I do have a limited number of spots because I want everybody in the program to get some one-on-one coaching time every week. So if you want more information about this program, please click on one of the pink buttons below to fill out an application. There'll be a couple quick questions for you to complete so that we can help determine if this program is a good fit for you. And I'll get back to you via email after you've filled out your application. So I hope to see you inside the End Picky Eating program, and thanks for watching today.